This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes, we are looking.
Okay, that's great. Just a second, we'll begin within a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So see here, already we have created a shopping management system, this one. And let me open the OneNote. I would like to see what we have discussed. Okay. Okay, we have discussed on the tables and how to create, just I told you about the analysis phase, what you are going to do and all that stuff. Now, okay. So see here, during the design phase, the first thing that we will do is about this prefix, and we will add the prefix. Okay, what we will do is we will add the prefix, and then whatever the tables that we create, we are going to use this prefix, and then we need to create. Please remember this. This is very, very important. What we need to do is we need to use this prefix, and then we need to create, the table. Okay, this is very, very important. So now I told you about an EDT, table A, table B, table C, but I have not demonstrated. So first of all, we will look at this one today, and then we will move forward. Okay. So see here, whenever we are creating any AOT object, there is only one way. You need to go to your project. Okay. We need to open the project, right click on the project, and then you will have an add button, select new item. Okay, we need to select the new item, and you can see there is something called data types here, and in this data type you can see there are base enum, container, date, enumerated data type, GUID. So here there are, hey, please mute yourself. Okay, now you can see here these are the variations. So from this, today we will see what is a string. So what is a string? String is an array of characters. Okay. For example, if I write, let's say V, what do we call this? Character. If I write 1, what do you call this? A number or an integer. Okay. If I say -1, then it will be an integer. Similarly, if I say visual path, here how many characters are there? There are multiple characters. Okay, there are total of 10 characters. In this fashion, if we are using the array of characters, we will call it as a string, and the string can contain any alphanumeric characters. Okay, along with that we have how many ASCII characters here? What is the set? In that set, whatever you want you can use for a string. Okay, string value can be anything from ASCII. Okay, not alphanumeric, you can use from ASCII. Okay, from ASCII character set, you can use any character as a part of a string. Okay, now see here, I am creating a EDT string, and here I will call this as, let me call this as name, or okay, I will call this as test name. Okay, and then click on the add. So see here, we have created a extended data type using a primitive data type. The primitive data type is string. The extended data type is tst name. Now you can see there are three things: array elements, table relations, table references. Okay, array elements, table relations, table references. You can see these three parts here. Okay, so I will explain you about this in detail later on. Okay, we will see that later on. First of all, let's see what is this EDT. Okay, now if I go to the properties of the EDT, you can see there are a lot of things here. Okay, in this, the first type of property is appearance. Okay, so these appearance properties are used for setting up the size, setting up the label. Okay, so in one of the session I told you Dynamics 6 will support n number of languages, n number of companies, n number of currencies. Okay, how it will support a number of languages. Okay, let me show you. Let me open the front end. Just a second. Let me open the front end. And then here, if I go to settings, user options, account, and preferences, you also have the preferences. And here you can see languages and -us. Now let me change this. Okay, I can see Arabic and there are a lot of languages here. I have French. Okay, you can see German. Okay, I am selecting German now. Okay, and then let me save this. It got saved successfully. And now let me open and check what is the language. Can you see this? The language got changed. How did the language got changed here? This is what is the importance of labels here. Okay, this is what is the importance of labels here. This label property we use to define the language. We can create text in n number of languages using this labels. And then we have a string size. String size I am setting it to 20 here currently. Okay, and display height, display length, this we will be setting it to auto by default. But if you want to specify the pixel, you can do that. Okay, you can specify the pixel to get the display length and display height. Okay, and if you want to use the collection, EDT collection, number of EDTs into one group, then we will define the collection label. Okay, and if you want to set some image, we will use button image. Currently array elements are not there, so array length will be 0. Whether it should be right or left or center, whatever it is you want to set, you can do the align. Okay, so currently let's limit up to these properties because I want to discuss you what is the EDT. Okay, we will see the remaining things later on. Okay, now in this EDT I have set it to 20. Now let me create 3 tables. New item, and then here you can see data model, and then a table. Let me call this as table 1. I am not using any naming conventions here. I am simply adding it as table 1. Let me add it. Okay, table got added. Now to add the fields in a table, there are multiple ways. I am going with the basic way. Click on the new button, string, and go to properties. You can find the field string here. Let me call it as name. Okay, and here string size I want to set it to some 15. I am setting the size to 15. Save. Okay, and let me create one more table. Just a second. Click on the add button, new item, and then a table. Let's call it as table 2. Click on the add button, and let me create one more field here. And even if you want, you can copy and paste here. You will have a copy option. You can go to table 2, and then you can paste it here. Done. Now we have the second field, and you can go to the properties. Size is 15. Good. Save. Next, let me create one more table. Click on the new item. Now it's time for table 3. Click on the add button, and then paste it here. Done. Save. Okay. Now you can see each of the time the string size is 15. Now we have the another requirement. Okay. Before going to this one, let me build it. See here. See here. Where are tables located? In Dynamics AX. But where will be tables located? In SQL database. Now, if the tables that you created in your project should also be created in SQL Server, then you need to set the synchronized database on build to true. What does this synchronized database do? Whatever the objects that you will create here will get synchronized with the SQL Server database. Okay. For that, we need to set synchronize database on build to true. Okay, I have set it up and let me do a rebuild here and let me open the SQL. Let's see whether tables are there or not. Just a second, it's getting open. Okay, now let me open SQL Server here. Click on the connect button. Now it will connect us to the AS database. Okay, let's see whether we have created three tables. Na? The sync is not yet finished. So let's see whether they got created or not. You can see AXDB. This is where all the tables will get created. Let me expand these tables. And remember, the schema would be dbo dot, what is the table name? Table 1. dbo dot table 1. Can you see this? During the synchronization, these three tables will get created. Remember, but if you don't set that synchronized database on build, this will not get created here. Please remember this. Now, if you expand this table on the SQL, you can see columns. And can you see this? Data area ID, partition, rec ID, rec version. I did not create them. And you can see name is nvarchar of 15, data area ID nvarchar of 4, partition bigint, rec ID bigint, rec version int. I did not create these fields, but from where we got it? Dynamics AX will support n number of companies. To support that n number of companies, in each and every table that we create in Dynamics AX, okay, there will be two options. One is save data per table. Sorry, save data per company, not table. Save data per company. Okay, save data per company means this data area ID field will be created and it will store the name of a company. Okay, because if I go to the front end, okay, let me refresh the screen. I will show you because otherwise it will throw error. So I want to refresh this. Okay, what it will do is it will store the name of a company inside the field called data area ID. And coming to this partition, in the same company, if you want to divide the data, okay, then we can use the partition. But coming to the Dynamics 365, that partition is a dead field because up to AX 2012, they allowed us to edit. Okay, we can create a new partition and we can use it. But coming to Dynamics 365, that screen is visible only from the back end. From front end, it's removed. Okay, next, to uniquely identify the record in a table, we will use a field called rec ID. Okay, record version, how many times the record has been modified in a table. To identify that, we are going to use a field called rec version. To identify how many times the record has been modified in a table, we are going to use a field called rec version. For whatever, if you create a table, even if you don't create any fields, you will see these four fields depending upon the save data per company property. Okay, if you don't use save data per company, then data area will not be there. Okay, please remember this. Next, oh, just a second here, it's taking some time. Just I want to show you the list of the companies. Okay, let it load. In the meantime, we'll go to Visual Studio. Okay, now see here, if I go to properties of this name, you can see here this is 15. Now the way customer came up with a new requirement, the size of the name is 15, but later on, based on the customers, because few of the customer names he found that the characters are 20, so obviously it is getting truncated. That's very bad, you know. If the name gets truncated and if you give a receipt, that is not a valid receipt. So what he should do? He should get it changed. Okay. Now how many places I need to change? I need to change across 3 different places. One is table 1, second one is table 2, third one is table 3. Okay. One is table 1, second one is table 2, third one is table 3. Obviously. Now I need to modify it to 20. I need to come here back and then I need to modify it to 20. And I need to modify in all the places wherever the size is 15. Obviously, that's a bad practice, very bad practice, because there is a possibility that we can forget. Okay, when you are executing the script and when you are trying to update hundreds of tables, then obviously we will forget in few instances. So what will happen? Obviously, it is going to fail. Okay, so Microsoft came up with a new type, which is the extension of the primitive data type, and we call it as extended data type. Okay, you can see here tst name. Now we have set the string size to 20. Now let me go to table 1. Here you can see a property called extended data type. Let it set it to tst name and save this. So once I have set it to tst name, you can see the string size property is disabled. It's not working. Okay, you can't modify the string size on the table field directly. Here as well, let me update it. Let me call it as tst name, and it is 20 now. And here as well, let me modify it as tst name. Done. You can see here it got disabled automatically. Okay, now let me save all. Now the customer again came up with a new requirement. The 20 is also not enough. He want to modify it to 50. So what he has done is, this string size, he has set it to 50. Press enter. Save. Done. Now let me go to table 1. Oh, size is 50. Table 2, size is 50. Table 3, size is 50. Can you see this? This is what is the benefit of extended data type. If you want to modify, multiple places at a time, then we are going to use the property extended data type. And remember, as per the Dynamics 6 best practices, we need to use extended data type only. Okay, now I have given the name, but sometimes the people would like to divide the name into first name, last name, or name 1, name 2, name 3, something like that. Okay, now let me do one more thing. In this tst name, I have the array elements. Now I will add new array element. I will call this as name 1. I'm not adding any label and help text. Okay, you can add it. We will see. Once I explain the labels now, I will add it. Okay, currently I'm not adding it. And then I will say name 2. Okay, or currently for the time being I will hard code. Okay, because we will open table and see in the front end name 1, and here I will set it to name 2. How many array elements I have added? I have added 2 array elements. Okay, and I have only one field here. Let me rebuild, and once the build is finished, we will go and check in the database what is the difference, and then we will open the table in the table browser, and then we will see what is the difference. Okay, let's wait for a minute. Hey, you can see here how much time it is taking. Obviously, synchronizing with the database will take more amount of time. Okay, so we need to wait. I will explain about this best practices later on because I want to finish this first and then I will go there. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, just I'm checking whether the tables got updated or not. Okay, because sync is taking long time. Because once the synchronization is finished, na, then only I can show you these elements. Otherwise, I would not be able to show you that array elements. Let's wait for a minute. Only while discussing the tables, we need to bear this because each and every time when you synchronize, what will happen is it will drop the tables and then it will recreate. Okay, it will connect to the SQL, drop the tables, and then recreate. So it will take some time. Okay, this is one more common thing that will happen when you are working with Dynamics 6. Okay, that is the issue with synchronization. So it says database synchronization failed. You may have to do a full build of the package, Flipkart, and all of its dependent packages. Now let us see the error. Alter table, alter column failed because column name 2 underscore does not exist in table 1. Okay, because what we have done is initially we have created table and then we have modified the EDT. Okay, we have created the table, we have assigned the EDT, later on we have created the array elements. Okay, so what it has done is it is not accepting that. Okay, but actually it should, but it is throwing the error in this case. But let me see, if it is a timeout we need to do a rebuild. If it is not a timeout, 1 second. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's try to build the Flipkart model and check once, because they should not give this error. Huh? The only difference is if I build the project, it will only build the objects which are inside the project. If you build from the Dynamics 365 menu, it is going to build all the objects which belongs to that Flipkart model. Okay. May I ask regarding Hyper-V? Yeah, you can ask. What is your question? No, let me stop this. It might take a long time. What is
What
your
is this
question?
Flipkart model actually?
This is the model. Okay, we are going to store all the AOT objects in this model now. Whatever the build that we are doing for a specific company is a Flipkart now. This is a model.
So, so you have created it.
Yes.
Hello.
Yep.
Yes, Kumar. I just set up the virtual machine and the hyper, but when I'm login and try to set up the account, it's giving some error that it's rechecking.
What is the error?
I will. Can I show you here, or how should I show you?
You can ping me here. Huh? If you can ping me the error, that will be enough.
Okay. After that, it was not going to Visual Studio only. Other are working.
Hey, just a second, yeah. First of all, let me remove this. Just a second. Yep.
This is the error which are cutting.
Hey, this error I need to check here because I can say this is server terminated because it is saying AOS server got terminated abnormally. Okay.
Okay,
And
so yes.
okay, so let's do one thing. I will check this error and then I will get back to you. Okay. I will make a note of it.
Okay. No.
Just a second. I'm checking whether the build will get completed or not. Just a second. You can also create one account and you can download files, Kamal. Okay, because it's not needed to share. You can download from LCS directly. And one more thing, did you run admin user provisioning tool as administrator or not?
Sorry.
Did you run admin user provisioning tool as administrator?
I think I didn't run this one. I'm not
You
sure.
need to run it as administrator, otherwise you will not get it. Please try running it as admin once, okay?
Which one should I run?
On the desktop, you will find admin user
Mhm.
provisioning, okay?
Yes, yes,
Right
yes.
click that tool and run as administrator.
Uh,
Got it? And even I also need to download the latest virtual machine. Or there is some dependency on this machine, which is why I have not done that. Mostly from Wednesday, we will see the new machine itself. In that machine, we will not face these sync issues and everything, because in this we screwed a lot of things. So
uh,
okay, it says build got completed successfully. Let me create a new EDT and let me add the array elements at the beginning. Mm. Hey, please mute yourself here. We are getting a lot of sound from you, someone. Okay, let me add new array element. Properties. I am updating this to 50 back again. Let me call this as name1. Okay. So this time, if it is works, it is fine. Otherwise, I need to recheck on the machine why it is causing the sync issue. Okay. Let me add it to table one, name, properties, and go to EDT here, TST, name, array, save. Do a rebuild. Visual Studio account trial account is ending. Hey, for the trial account, either you need to get some key from internet or you need to have some subscription. Okay. You can try with on Microsoft account once. If it works, it is fine. Otherwise, you need to get some key. And there is one more way of adding this EDT, which is the easier way. Okay, for example, if you want to add this, you can simply drag and drop this EDT to the table. Okay. This is what you can do. This is the second way that we use, and it will create the same tst name array, tst name array. You can change the name later on. So for admin provisioning, you need to give AAD global with your domain ID. Okay, otherwise it is not going to work. Okay, we got the same error here. Seems like some issue with the environment itself, because EDTRA, it's very simple. Simply if you drag and drop, it should work. Okay. Yeah, let's see that. I will show you, don't worry. We will see that tomorrow. I will show you how to work with that EDTRA and how to add the elements. Okay. Now, coming to the next thing, if I go to this error list, okay, you can see 0 of 22 warnings. Okay. Currently, I am removing these errors. I will select 0 of 22 warnings. Now, please remember, as per the Dynamics AX best practices, we need to resolve each and every warning that we have here. Informative messages, you can leave them. Whereas coming to the warnings, we need to resolve them. Okay. Now let's see. For example, I will explain you a few of them. Remaining, you can understand by yourself. That's not a big deal. Okay. Now you can see it says BP. BP means not blood pressure. It's best practice. Okay. XML doc, no documentation comments. It is saying you wrote the program called My First Pro. If you double click, it will open it. And you did not provide any XML documentation for this. Okay. Whatever you need to do is you need to provide XML documentation. You need to add the summary. What you are going to do in this piece of code. I will simply say test program and save. Okay. So once you save this, the warning will be gone. Now there is no warning. And now the next one, table field not in a field group. Whenever we create a field in a table, it should be part of a field group as per best practice. Okay, but we have not added it. Similarly, error, label not defined. We have not defined any label. Okay, for the table we have a property called label. We have not defined any label, so we are getting this error. Similarly, you can see this one, this warning. It says developer documentation not defined. You know, more than 95% of the cases, I saw this warning in almost all the projects. We don't define the documentation here because we want people to suffer. If we don't define the developer documentation, tomorrow morning, if someone else is working on the operations, and if he needs to understand what is the purpose of the table, obviously he need to do a lot of research. Okay, which is why we will define the developer documentation. It is a mandatory property and we need to define it. It is a mandatory property and we need to define it. Please remember. And similarly, it says no label. And one more thing, I want to see name one, name two. It should say that we have hard coded. It will be somewhere. Okay, because the label should not be hard coded, and instead of that, it should be a label ID. It should be a label ID. We need to remember this thing as well. Okay, so like this, whatever the best practice warnings that we see here, we need to fix all these BP warnings. We need to fix all this best practice warnings. This is very, very important. Please remember this. Okay. Yep. Now you can see this is about the best practices and how we are going to fix them, because I will show you each and everything. Because this label, okay, tomorrow I will create a label file and then I will create a label. I will create in multiple languages and I will show you how to do that. Okay. Similarly, I will show you these array elements as well. Okay. I think there should be some issue with my environment, which is why it is not working, because I need to sort this out. I need to do a full build. It is going to take very long time. Okay, here you can see Dynamics 365. Actually, you can see it has already told, but I was just trying to make it work. Okay, let me show you. It will be somewhere. Okay, here it says clearly you may have to do a full build of this package and all of its dependent packages. To do that, it will take long time here, which is why instead of doing the full build, I tried with just building that model, but it did not work. Okay, I will do a full build. It will take around 3 or 4 hours. Okay, and then we will get the data automatically. No worries. To do a full build, you need to select this Dynamics 365, and then you can see build models. Here in the options, you need to select the synchronized database. Okay, select build reports, and then if you want to build the cross-reference data, you can build it. If you want to run the best practice checks, you can do that. Precompiled form, and you need to select build. If I select this build, it will obviously take 3 to 4 hours to do the full build. Okay, so I will do that from my end, and then I will show you that EDTRA, because it's already suggested, but I have not done that as it will take more time. I just tried to check whether it is working or not. Okay, it did not work, so I need to do a full build. Okay, yeah, please remember this. Yep, that's it for today. Now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries.
Hi, Kumar. Yeah,
Yep.
this is about the tables you have created and data type you have created.
Yes.
What about the pre-built existing tables by the Dynamics? How we can increase the field size or modify the data type?
Hey, we are at the beginning here. I told you only about EDT. I did not explain about the tables as well. Okay.
No, okay, okay.
We will see that.
My question was related to EDT only. If you need to extend
I
any
will show you.
size of the,
I will show you.
okay, okay,
Okay, when we go to extensions, I will show you. Okay, because if I
okay,
speak that one, whoever know AX 2012, they will understand that. But whoever don't know AX 2012, they will say, oh, what is this? So I will explain
okay.
you
Thank
when we go to extensions. Okay. Yeah.
you. Okay, thank you.
Next, any other queries?
Can you give a little, explanation of things, because we are quite new here, right? So because you are going directly into the code, it will be a little difficult.
Yeah, I will do that. No worries. I will explain you. Next, can you please just my Hyper-V once, because giving different error. What is the error? Just a second. Admin. I'm making you presenter. Please share your screen. Okay. I made you presenter. Please share your screen. We will see that. Okay, I can see it. This is Visual Studio, na?
I just run the provisioning tool and then it's working. I'm not sure what is how.
No. You have selected to debug or something. Otherwise, you will
Yes,
not get
yes,
this screen.
yes.
You need to select no cancel debugging.
Ah,
You have selected for debugging. You should cancel that. Otherwise, it will ask these things only. Here, actually, you need to unlock with a product key. You can get some product key on the internet for Visual Studio 2015. You can get it somewhere. Or you can do one more thing. You can sign in with your own Microsoft account. It should work, as I do remember. But please try it once. Okay, I'm not sure about it. I don't remember. Yep. Next, any other queries?
Kumar, in EDT we created array, right? What is the use of those two array? You use only one, so I'm not
Okay.
sure.
So see here, when we will create arrays, let's say you have an address field. Whenever we use the address field, we will have address line 1, address line 2, address line 3. Okay. So
Yeah.
at that point, instead of creating 3 different fields, we can create one field called address, and we can use it in a
Your
with
screen is
multiple
not
lines.
visible.
No, I am not doing anything on the screen. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
So what we will do is we will define the EDT array. Okay. When you open the table, you will see address 1, address 2, address 3. Okay. As part of the table, it will be single field. When you open the table, it will show you as a 3 different fields because it is an array. In the database as well, it will store the data in 3 different fields.
That is the benefit.
And
Okay?
it's not mandatory to use that field
It's not
everywhere.
mandatory.
Like,
It's not
okay,
mandatory.
okay.
If you want to create 3 different fields, create 3 different fields. No one is going to ask you.
So it's just like first name, last name instead of name
Yes.
1, name 2, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Because in few cases people will use that, and most of the times people will create multiple fields. Okay? Yep. Okay. So if there are no other queries, I will end session for everyone. Thank you all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow same time. Thank you all. Bye.
Okay.